folks, welcome back to another episode of the Mortal Realms magazine. So this week sees us up to number 21, issue 21 already. So we're now into the second quarter of the subscription. Okay, so I'll go up top and show you that in a minute. Before I do that, we get a little pull-out about the War of Life. So opening this and we see a little map of the realms, which is always nice, more so for you guys who love the fluff. A little bit of artwork here, and introducing Nurgle, who's one of the other gods there. Okay, and you'll be pleased to hear that we have some models. We have a sprue, and these are Dreadscythe Harridans. Okay, so I've got 10 bases in front of me, 10 of the slotted bases, so I'm presuming we have a unit of those. Lovely models, not too great to put together. So, okay, let's go up top and we'll have a look at the magazine. Okay folks, so here we have issue 21, $7.99 as always, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Mortal Realms, comes down and shows us our cover stars. Okay, and our 3 points are Dreadscythe Harridans, which are our models, introduce us to the Chaos Gods, and your first battle plan on War Scrolls. Interesting. Okay, so move along onto the contents page. In this issue, so it says Storm Hosts, so learn about the many Storm Hosts and the distinct ways of war. The Chaos Gods, learn about these corrupting powers who seek to dominate reality. Of Bones and Blood, this book is a guide to the undead creatures that haunt the realm of death. That sounds really good. How to build the Dreadscythe Harridans, how to paint the Dreadscythe Harridans, and then we get, okay, reference sheet 1, how to play your game step by step, Sequitor's War Scroll, so we're getting the full rules for the Sequitors, Chain Rasp's War Scroll, so we're getting the full rules for those, the Haunted Wilds, which is the battle plan. In this battle plan, Sequitors attack the Nighthaunt to establish a beachhead, and Ghyran map. This fold-out map showcases the evergreen swath in Ghyran and the conflict between the goddess of life, Alariel, and the plague god, Nurgle. Okay, so this sounds like a really, really good issue. Okay, so we've got the editor's bit there for anybody who's collecting the magazine. And go straight into it. So we have a band of brothers, and this is obviously the part about the Storm Hosts. Up top here, we have our little binder reference, F Storm Hosts 1. So it's obviously the start of a new section on the Storm Hosts and the Stormcast Eternals. Okay, and there's our lovely artwork, guys, as always. Right, both feared and beloved, or beloved, whichever way you want to put it. Okay, and it shows us some of the actual Storm Hosts, Stormcast Eternals, and some of their armour. I like this one with the purple. Anyone who knows me knows I love purple. So, Knights Excelsior, the Ghyran Guard, maybe these are the guys who are in the battle plan later. The Radiant Sons of Sigmar. So as you can see, guys, the Blooded Dawn, and the Angels Etheric. So as you can see, and you all know by now, all the different chapters, different armies, different parts of the armies of the Stormcast Eternals, all have their own colours and their own armour and insignia. So that's just a few more of those. Here's my part that I'm going to end up reading after the video, the Chaos Gods. Okay, so it just shows us a little bit about Nurgle, and we see some of the iconography there. And Khorne, they are the big two. Anyone who plays 40k, Warhammer 40,000 will know, obviously the same two, Khorne and Nurgle, but they've obviously come over into the fantasy realm as well. Okay, so from beyond the boundaries of reality, their Chaos Gods look upon the 8 realms with hungry eyes. It is in their nature to destroy, relentless and unstoppable. They seek to invade and corrupt reality. So business has just picked up, guys. They thought the Nighthaunt was bad, wait until these boys arrive. Okay, so we have more of the iconography. I love the death and the chaos iconography. I mean, look at this stuff here. You know, they're just amazing, isn't it? It's like, you know, I'm sort of sitting here thinking now, how about a tattoo of some of this stuff? You know, before he explained to me tattooist. I just want this little design here. Okay, so we have the Great Horned Rat, we have Slaanesh and Tzeentch. Okay, and of Bones and Blood, encounters with the dead. And it's part of the Death, Death 2 for our reference in the corner with a nice little skull on there. Oh, this gets really tasty, this. Oh, do you know what? It looks like they've only just, they just give us one page. Welcome, reader, to the personal journals of the Tyrus von Stat. Sigmar, save his soul. So yeah, there's a lot of bump there, guys, and it looks like it's basically going to be the new section in the binder, and it's going to introduce us. I mean, logically, you know, they were never going to give us all in one go worthy, but I'd like a couple more pages, to be honest, because I was like, yeah, I'm really up for this. But okay, moving on. How to build Dreadscythe Harridans, and again, these are our small clip together models, as always. Take no notice of the way these look simple, guys. Trust me, I've got sausage fingers and they're really not going to go together well. Okay, clipper and glue safety. Keep all your fingers, guys. Okay. Little disclaimer there. Okay, and this carries on. Just shows us our guide, where to glue, how to glue, etc. How to paint Dreadscythe Harridans, and it's telling us the paints that we need. Okay, so we get the usual little guide by now, guys. You all know this. Shows us the paints. Tells us to gather our models, and there's only 5 of them there, so I'm wondering if there's only 5 on the sprue, but they've given us some extra bases. Oh well, not to worry. How to paint, and it's just basically going through it. Corax White, Nelac Oxide, dry brush of Corax White, and then it's just Cantor Blue over the cloaks there, Abaddon Black, and Dryad Bark. Okay, and it just shows us, as always, in the little step-by-step guides, how to paint. And again, shows the finished models, or at least finished up to where we are in the magazine. Personally, I'm not fussed on their colour scheme, you know, and I'd say to you all, like I say every time, you know, at the end of the day, your models, guys, you build them and you paint them how you wish. Okay, reference sheet. Now, I like this. This is really, really nice. And there's our 2 heroes there, which we're now familiar with. And it gives us all our little rules in the movement phase at the double, forward to victory, inspiring presence, etc. And it gives us some spells, Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. So this basically, these are so handy, guys. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to actually photocopy it before I put it into the binder. So you can see here the turn sequence. This is, do you know what, for new players, guys, this is absolutely fantastic. These things like idiot proof, I'm not kidding. If you've never played the game before, you just go through this, it tells you all the phases. Tells you what you need to do, any rules in there, how to attack, you know, your weapons to hit, to wound, to save, to damage, how you give wounds out. So say if you have a weapon source like 3 wounds and you've got like 2 models with 2 wounds each, you'd allocate 2 wounds to one model and remove it, and 1 wound to the other. You with me? Okay, it tells the combat phase and the battle shock phase and how to roll for battle shock. That is really, really good. You know, I'm impressed with that. It's only a sheet, guys. You know, and people thinking, oh, his heads fell off or whatever, but honestly, that's so good for new players. And we have our first complete war scroll for the Sequitors. This, guys, will tell you absolutely everything you need to know, okay? It tells you all about their leader, all about their abilities, all their numbers, you know, move 5, save 4, bravery 7, wounds 2, all that sort of stuff. And their weapons, what you need to hit, to wound, to kill things, etc. So yeah, that's lovely to see a full complete war scroll. We're starting to get up to speed now, guys. Sequitor abilities. So again, they're going deeper into what you can do with your Sequitors. For the new guys out there, just to, you know, just to reinforce, basically, just show what you're doing. Tells you a little bit about the soul shields. And then we go on to the Chain Rasp Horde, and again, same as the Sequitors, everything they can do, what their weapons do, all the movement, the saves, their bravery, their wounds, and a nice little piece of artwork. Can't say fairer than that. A little bit of art there. Oh, the cold, the misery, the eternal blackness, curse the living, I will cut them down, and they shall know my pain. Okay, and apparently that is Valkyr the Cold. Okay. And again, like the Stormcast, it goes on to the Nighthaunt abilities. So it just tells us all about the Ethereal, the Chilling Horde, and the Dread Warden. And we now go on to the Haunted Wilds, which is our... Oh, look at that, guys. Sorry. Which is our battle plan for the week. Okay? So it says the Stormcast Eternals have arrived on the Heartwood coast of Kernathiel, where the Nighthaunts have launched their attack. Okay, so this is a little area that we're fighting over this week. And it just basically tells us our battle plan. So a battle plan is just all your rules basically to do with that particular encounter that you're going to have. So we see a unit of 15 chain rasps on this side, 5 Sequitors on that side, and you're probably thinking, why so many of them, so few Sequitors? Well, the Sequitors have got 2 wounds and they're harder to kill, so your tactic there basically is get forward with your chain rasps and just mob mentality, you know, surround them and stuff. If you don't, those Sequitors are going to walk straight up the battlefield and are going to hit you, and you're not going to hang around very long, okay? So there we go, just tells us our armies, what we're using, the setup, how we set them up, the first turn, glorious victory. The game ends when one player has no models on the field, on the battlefield. So basically, we're going again with like a, you know, an eliminate mission, but it's a nice little mission because it's just going to be one of them where it's getting you into everything that you've learned, reinforcing everything that you know, going over all those rules, more importantly getting you familiar with battle plans and using those turn order reference sheets, okay? And then we have the Mortal Realms, and just says about guidance, Warhammer community and exploration, so it basically just tells us where to go after this, okay? And very careful not to show you what's coming in issue 23. So issue 22 gives us just 2 new paints, so we get more Mephiston Red and Raykarth Flesh, and says discover the Chaos God Khorne, and there is a little preview of the issue next week, guys, okay? So I'm going to go away, build these Dread Scythe Harridans, come back, showcase them, and we'll call it a wrap. Okay folks, so welcome back. And here we have our showcase. So we've actually got 5 models, it wasn't 10, they've just given us some extra bases. Okay, so here is the Dread Scythe Harridan number 1. I say I can't help thinking that these guys just remind me of like a spirit version to like the Tyranids with those big claws, or very alien even, you know. So on the base there we see some like little railings and stuff like that look lovely once we paint base and flock, basically put grass down or rubble, whatever we're going to put on that base. And then basically just pick this up, a little bit of a dry brush. So spin them round, we can see all the little capes flaying off and hair and stuff. Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2, these are all similar kind of poses, to be honest, with the slight little bit of dynamic in them. Okay, so this guy's more of a kind of leaning in towards you, and he's got the open pose with the claws. And again, we see the lovely little bit of scenery on the base and all the little trails. I mean, I'm going to be saying the same thing here, guys, because I say these are all so similar. But I mean, you know, nice little attention to detail on them. And we'll put them together with the ones that we got a few issues ago. And it'll give us a unit and give those Stormcaster players something to think about. You really wouldn't want these charging at you across the battlefield. Because I know with the rules, I think they've got flying. Like, with it being ethereal, you can basically go through scenery and walls and stuff like that, so you know, oh, that's nice. A little bit of a skull on the base there as well, so there's nowhere to hide from these guys when you come in at you. Okay, there's number 3. Number 4, I love the skulls and like the little expressions on the face of these. They're going to look absolutely lovely when they're inked. Okay, giving them a little spin round there. Excuse me. Okay, there's number 4, and again a little bit of a base on him there. And finally the last one. Okay, now this one was a little bit awkward, I'll be honest, because if you see the base here, and he's quite a big model, but you can see he's actually biased, he's leaning over to his left. So what you need to do there, guys, here's one for you, Jace, the Tyrell hobby tip, is glue your model, glue him onto the base, hold him for a few seconds, let the plastic cement, the plastic glue just do its job, and lean it against like, you know, a coffee pot or something like that, you know. That way, leave him for about 2 minutes and he'll be fine. So again, look at that skull there, guys. Okay, big claws. Now this kit is an absolute pain. I'll tell you the problem of it, the heads. Okay, the bodies clip together really, really well. No problem there. Hold them for a few seconds, let the glue do its job. The heads, if you've got fingers like I have, honestly, yeah, you'll find more time fiddling. What a little tip for you, I'd say, is push the head on. And if you get your clippers and just basically use the clippers to like prod the skull and the head into place. And also, guys, before I go, if you are collecting this and you haven't clipped these yet, please be really careful around these joints, because I've nearly lost a couple like the arms on just unclipping these models here. Like all Nighthorns, absolutely beautiful, posed, scenic, really great, extremely fragile. Okay, so again guys, be careful while you're clipping them, and if you're playing with a younger player, you might be better playing as the Nighthorns, because as I say, some of these will get snapped, I guarantee you. Okay, so that's all we have for this issue, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next week.